So a while back I did a series of videos on Dark Souls style games and why accessibility is not the same thing as difficulty. Basically, you can make a Souls-like game more accessible to people without toning down the difficulty at all. And I realized after doing that series of videos that maybe this is the discussion we need to be having in the fighting game community. Because it seems like there's always two sides to this accessibility debate. One side is always saying things need to be simpler, there need to be one-button specials, there need to be auto combos, people need to be able to access all the tools immediately. And the other side is always saying, no, execution is part of the game, people need to learn, if they're getting frustrated, they just need to find a better way to learn. And I realized this parallels the argument that the Souls community is having. One of my favorite essayists, Noah Caldwell-Gervais, did like a 5-hour rundown of the Souls games. And he called the dichotomy between the people who want easy mode and the people who say get good a false dichotomy. Because Souls games are all about learning. That's part of the things that make them enjoyable to play. And making them more accessible is about making learning resources more accessible. Saying get good doesn't help, but denying a game's accessibility problem doesn't help either. And you could address accessibility without changing difficulty. And I think in fighting games, there's a parallel there. Because a lot of people are saying fighting games are hard, but maybe they're just not accessible. Like, I'm thinking back to when Skullgirls first released, and they didn't have a move list. And the rationale was, oh, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 didn't have a move list, people will figure out the moves in time. And that is the most chronically online fighting game take I think I ever heard. Like, that was flat out saying accessibility does not matter. And boy, howdy does accessibility matter. So maybe we need to address fighting games the way that Noah Caldwell-Gervais talked about addressing the Souls-like genre. Learning resources need to be put front and center in the game. If people find move lists hard to remember, then learning that move list has to be part of the game. If people find motion inputs difficult to do, then teaching those motion inputs needs to be part of the game. It can't be this separate thing that you tell someone to do on their own time. It has to be part of the organic game-playing process. And sure, you could let veterans skip it if that's what they want to do. You could let people learn in their own styles. But I still think that fighting games are one of the least accessible games out there, when the point of fighting games is that there's this fun in learning them. So we should foster that with our game design. We should have the games teach people why learning fighting games are fun. They should teach them what everyone in the FGC already knows. And then we'll get more people in the FGC.